Shalom, this is Yaz Magnified, and I'm back with another informative video. Today's video is titled More Than One Way to Skin a Cat. But before I tackle this subject, as always, I must state for the record, I'm not a lawyer, I do not practice law, and I do not pretend to. All my videos are for informational and educational purposes only. They're all facts and all truth. Nothing more, nothing less. So with that being said, guys, let's get to it. Okay, so now as you all know, this video will in fact be a what? This video will be a testimony. This is the same testimony that I was telling you guys in my prior two videos that I had sitting in the chamber waiting to be uploaded. But the reason why I'm just now uploading the testimony is because of what? It's because we was waiting for the documents. The same paperwork that is on the screen, okay? As always, if there is no paperwork, then there is no testimony. So again, when I provide a testimony, there's paperwork to support and to back up and to vouch for everything that the person is saying who comes on to give their testimony. And it's just that simple, guys. It's just that simple. There's only one way to roll when you're doing a testimony. You have to do it right and do it completely, okay? We don't have step over here. And when a gentleman come on to give their testimonies, it's their testimonies. It's not my testimonies. I do not coach these brothers. I do not tell these brothers what to say. They come on and tell exactly what happened in their situation before coming to me and after leaving me, okay? And it's just that simple, guys. That's all that testimony is about. So, before I have my art come on and give his testimony, as always, I must go over his paperwork. So now, at the upper left-hand corner of the screen, you see what? Court file number. I crossed that out. This document is titled what? Notice of Income Withholding Termination, CP. So this was sent to the custodial parent. Let's read it. It states what? Dear custodial parent, which is his child's mom. That's her name right there. I just crossed it out. It states what? According to our records, we are no longer collecting any child support or arrears from Ma'ak at this time. Therefore, we will instruct Ma'ak employer or payer of funds to stop withholding court-ordered support payments for current and past due support. See Minnesota Statute Section 518A53. Then it states, we have notified Ma'ak of our intentions to stop the withholding. We will take this action within 5 days from the date of this notice unless you file a motion to contest the termination of withholding. See Minnesota Statute Section 484.702. Okay, so now as you all can see, again, this video is titled, There's More Than One Way to Skin a Cat. So without further ado, let's find out why I titled the video that way. Let's bring on my art. Okay, as promised, I got my uncle on the phone. Are you ready, Hawk?
Yeah, I'm here, man. How you doing, Terry?
Oh, man, I'm doing good, Hawk. I'm doing good. It's my first time getting to see you, man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. It's a pleasure. You know what I mean? It's a pleasure.
Definitely a pleasure, man.
All right, but before you proceed forward with your testimony, you know, as always, I like to give all glory and honor to the Most High Yah, man, because without him, none of this would be possible.
All right, never be possible.
The floor is yours, Hawk. Go ahead and explain what's going on.
All right, my name is Asar, and been recently through some child support issues here in Minnesota where I'm located. I'm located in the Minneapolis area. I'm located actually where George Floyd was murdered at. So yeah, I kind of put you in the picture of my location.
Right.
And bottom line is, man, I was dating this female who I thought was financially stable enough that I can date up to my quality. And I slipped because she told me, hey, I'm on birth control, but you know, and I'm like, okay, you know, didn't really cover the package after a while, and then ended up having to get her pregnant. She stated to me that if I ever got her pregnant, she got a job and she got medical, and we wouldn't have to worry about the state coming into process. And I'm letting her know, like, yeah, if you have a child, they're going to come to me about, you know, DNA. They're going to make me pay for that. They're going to come to me about medical. You know, we talked about the business side of having a child and why I wasn't with it. You follow me?
Yep.
So, you know, time went on, you know, we adults, we grown folks out here. So I ran into her again, came over to her house, sat down. We was going to probably smoke some weed, and probably, you didn't never know what was going to be next. But she hit me with the word like, hey, boy, 9 months, it's on. I'm like, what? 9 months. Only thing I know about 9 months is the baby.
Exactly.
So, all my children, to be truthful, all my children my oldest is like 28. And I've been through the child support process in a very ugly manner because I was self-employed at the time. And, I wasn't incorporated. I didn't know. I was a drug dealer trying to go legit. Ended up being successful in business. And then I had a daughter whose mother seen me go legit and didn't deal with the streets anymore. I was unattractive, but I was attractive enough to put me on child support. So anyway, I dealt with child support, and I even went to jail for it. I went to jail, did 6 months in the county for it. When you go to jail for child support, you don't get good time. I can rob somebody, they can give me 6 months in jail. I'm out in 120 days. But if I go to jail for child support, I got to do the full 180 or whatever the sentence is. You do the full amount of time because it is it's civil. It's not criminal. You know. So bottom line, I'm terrorized from it because I learned from it. So all my children are older now. I had arrears at one time. I learned how to get rid of the arrears and all that. I did all of that, on my own. I learned one thing before I started searching Yaz Magnified. I learned that representing myself, I got farther in the courtroom. But every time I had a lawyer in the courtroom, I was never getting far. It was always like, dude, I probably wasted about $40,000 US on lawyers. You get it? And they never did nothing for me, honestly. But there was a time I had a recent lawyer that became a friend. He basically told me, represent yourself. And he told me this one thing that Yaz Magnified taught me too, jurisdiction. He said, they don't have jurisdiction over you, really. And when he told me that, I said, oh, shit. He turned on a light bulb. So I started researching this jurisdiction shit. This is with my first child support case. So anyway, I learned that. And then, the county ended up forgiving my arrears. The mom did some similar shit. And, I got rid of those cases. So fast forward, I currently have a 3.5-year-old currently. Okay. Mm-hmm. And, like I said, the mom, she promised not to put me on child support because she got a good job, XYZ. I trusted her on it. She told me, she said, all she needed is help was with daycare. I said, what about medical? She goes, I won't use the state when the child is born. I said, okay. I took a deep breath. I said, well, I still got to do DNA to find out if it's mine, Right. But I trust her. She said, it's me. I'm okay. Hey, man. Anyway, so the child is born. She uses the state medical, told me she wouldn't. And I received a letter from Hennepin County Child Support and Collections here in Minnesota. And they basically wanted me to come and volunteer for a DNA test, So at this time, I should have did more research before I even did that. Because that's when I started volunteering. And legally, I didn't have to volunteer if I didn't want to, from what I know as of today. Correct. Okay. So I ran into a few individuals on Instagram who was talking information that I can understand legally about child support. I started following them. And then me following them, they helped me to a certain degree where it made me go to YouTube. And then I ran into a few people like the Rick W's and the Quasi. What's the one dude named? The funny dude. Anyway, I ran into a couple of cats that was not talking right. They were talking about doing seminars and all this crazy shit. I'm like, man, they gonna get JFK'd if they keep doing that. But anyway, I prayed on it one day, because I felt like, I ain't special, but I felt like, hey, I'm favored by God. Every time I pray on something and my heart is pure about it, God gives me an answer. So one day, I get a letter from the child support, man. I'm just fed up. I'm like, man, I ain't ready to do this shit again. And then I'm to the point, like, how I'm going to tell my other kids that, hey, you niggas is in 20s, late 20s, and I'm about to have you got a new brother and sister. So, in order for me to tell my kids that, or even my family, I got to have my shit together. I got to at least have joint custody going into the game to explain that I'm 49 years old with a new baby. I should have been done years ago. It's crazy. But this person that I have a child with, this person I have an offspring with.
A seed, your seed.
My seed, yes. This person I have a seed with. It's all about legal language. The biggest part that I learned too about following Yas Magnify is learning how to speak. I learned that, I have a degree in paralegal, and one thing they taught us was in our generals is our grammar. And, and they taught us about legal language, but, I never studied the family law side of it.
Right.
And so now that I know the family law as fathers or people that are being challenged with child support payments, you got to know how to speak to these people, because you can enter into a contract not knowing because of something how you responded. It doesn't, their words don't mean the same as human conversation. Like if I meet you on the street and we have a conversation about life, even if we're building about finances and we can make money, it's still a different conversation when you're talking about child support and law. Yep. So, with Yas Magnify, I learned another language. It was like me learning Spanish, or, for real, it was like me learning German and Spanish at the same damn time, because, because they hit you with so many different verbalages, because you remember they got the what they call the Title IV contract, and then they got this other contract. They got like two contracts going on, so you got to read all that information, and they try to switch it up to confuse you.
Yeah,
so that you just say, well, man, I can't read this legal language. I just agree, whatever. And then you want to agree because you're exhausted. You don't want to, you don't want to spend the money on a lawyer because you might have it or might not. And, but bottom line is I found, Ya on YouTube, because I ran into the Osiris dude, right? Then the Osiris dude was spitting about different things, and I was getting into him. Then he spoke about a few cats that kind of did know the business, and he spoke about Ya. He was like, yeah. He said, I'm gonna tell he said the government and all that. He said, yeah, he knows what's going on. So then immediately I stopped watching him, and I said, let me go find this motherfucker. So it took me like 2 days to find out who he was talking about. And the power of God was that the second day when I looked for you, it just popped up on my screen like you need to see this, right? So then I clicked on it, and it was you. It was your page. So I just basically, man, just started clicking on everything and letting the videos play, just listening, just being a student. You know what I'm saying? Just actually being a student. It got so deep. Like I was doing illegal shit at work, like wearing a Bluetooth in my headset just to listen to Ya. You know what I'm saying? Because he was waking me up. I was awake, but I was on snooze mode, where you be awake and then you go back into sleep mode. You need something to wake you up. So He woke me up, and then I started listening to the testimonies. And then after I got the testimony, I compared it to everybody else that basically was communicating about this fight that we're all fighting. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody that's talking about the child support awareness is all for the fight, even though there's some that might try to, use you for some dollars and not going to help you, achieve anything. Some people find a financial way of making some money, because it's hard times in America, it's hard times all over the earth. So when somebody figures it out, they try to like use it. But you know. But bottom line, I went back to y'all, and then I started, catching up on all his videos. I went through about at least 30 videos, and I studied them like I was in college. I studied them while I was taking a shit. Man, I studied them after sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, for real, I have a chick. Then as soon as we're done, I'm picking up my phone. She thinking I'm on Instagram looking at girls. No, I'm on this video looking at y'all. I'm trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
So like I said, man, I kept praying on it. And one thing, I know about God that I gotta always remember, he sends messengers, and you gotta look for the messenger, because when you're bounded by this physical world, God only really talks to you when you're by yourself. So I had to basically take it in and deal with this as self, but also putting in my mind that I'm going to overcome it, and there will be someone that will turn on my light. So I started going back to Yah, and one day I was at work, and then there was a testimony and paperwork. I learned from having a business that paper trail is the way to win. You want to buy a house. Like, I own a house right now. I just bought a house. In this house that I own right now, honestly, I swear to God, no, not to get off the subject. I own this house. I closed in August 23rd. But after getting Yah's information, I hurried up and bought a house just in case child support was going to attack me. Because once you get child support on your credit, they're not going to fund you. You know what I'm saying? So once I got with Yah, man, I hurried up and got down payment, FHA loan, bought a house, quit. Man, I even lied to my landlord who I was renting from and told him that I lost my job just so that I can go buy a house. Because if you got to deal with child support, you want to at least own your home.
Right. Correct.
So, one thing I want to say, Yah, is Yah magnified. Thank you, bro. Not only your light, woke me up and got me free from my child support case, it also woke me up to buy a crib, man. I got a dope house because, it let me know what really matters. You know what I'm saying? So, part of the lessons from Yah was to get self-sufficient, and become the landlord.
Exactly.
So I achieved some things along the way, bought the crib, but I still had the child support case pending. Then I seen God working with me because, I'm closing on the crib in 30 days. I said, oh shit, God working with me. And then I got Yah's magnified on the other side of my ear saying, it's going to be okay. Don't worry. Just go ahead, get your shit together, and if you need me, holler. So I was like, man, I'm going to see if this dude's real. So I went back to his homepage on YouTube and I watched all the testimonies. And I watched every testimony. God knows I'm telling the truth. I watched every video single-handedly at least 20 times each. Then once I did that, I knew that this was the real brother. So I reached out to someone that got me started in my quest of understanding how to accomplish getting over this child support case. There were some cats, I don't want to say their name, but they basically follow Rick W, and Rick W gave them some paperwork, and they gave me some paperwork, and I used it in my response in my child support case.
Right.
That response paperwork seemed like it was the deal from reading it, if you are reading it from a human being standpoint, not a legal standpoint.
Correct.
So I sent it in the right way, got it notarized, got made copies. Everybody got a copy. Mom, child support, the judge, the sheriff, everybody. I sent everybody. If you had something to do with my case, you got a copy of this shit. Right? And then basically all it was some affidavits, and it was on a PDF file that you fill in your name and all that. So I did it. I sent it in, and then after I got to just studying more, even though I had reached out to y'all one time. I studying with the brother, and the brother was just so sincere. Like, God was like, that's your man,
Yeah.
And then one day it made sense. Y'all was like, everybody case different. And you said it. You can skin a cat. You can still win. Just you can skin a cat differently every time. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. I said, let me go ahead and contact the brother and see if he responds. Because man, you've been feeding us, man, like Moses, bro. You know what I'm saying? We out here in the desert doing a 40-year bid, walking around, and you out here feeding us the commandments. And then I'm like, man, if he respond, he the one. Because I know that God, man, I swear to God, man, I ain't trying to be greedy, but man, when I pray on something real, man, God respond, man. He take care of me, man. I don't fear nobody in the physical flesh no more, because I know God got me. So I asked God. I said, if He respond, God, I'm gonna go with the measure, and then I actually know that you are who you are. So man, this dude didn't hit me back for like 3 days. I'm already the time bomb ticking on my case, And one day I got a response. And it was Yah's magnified, man. And I prayed on it, man. And I blessed the man, just for even saying hello. Yep. And then, he asked me, how could he help me? And then, I just kind of quickly broke it down, not wasting his time, because I'm pretty sure you hear from a lot of people that are hungry for the knowledge, because knowledge is food, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can fast on food that you put in your mouth, but you can't fast on knowledge. Right. And Terry also made me aware that there's no forgiveness on ignorance of the law. Correct. You know what I'm saying? If you go to court and you don't know the law and you over 18, they don't forgive you because you didn't know. They still gonna prosecute you. Yeah, use that actually they'll use your ignorance against you. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So what I did was I reached out to y'all and we talked, and then hey man, ain't nothing free on planet Earth, and I don't want nothing for free, because that means that I might get some half-ass shit. I don't want nothing half-ass. I need it all in full. So I agreed with a donation before he even talked about one. Then I told him, I said, brother, look, man, I'm not going to waste your time. I do have some knowledge on what I'm going through, so I can assist you in conversation as long as you can assist me on building my conversation. And he said he could do that. So actually, I sent him a 50, and, if you know Spanish, you'll figure that out. And he accepted my conversation. I was surprised. Yeah. So we talked and built, and then I actually called the first cats right before I called Yah to kind of question them on the paperwork they sent me before I gave it to Yah so he can read it over. Man, don't you know that? Man, he was building me, but it wasn't feeling right. So anyway, I got on the phone with Yah. Then I ended up, telling you about the case, and you just basically said, just keep me informed. I'm here for you. Now that we kind of got our contacts together, just keep me informed. So I just started, just contemplating on the paperwork that I had. And then I contacted you again, and I said, all right, I'm going to send you a donation. I need you to read over my paperwork. And then you read it. And I was on, look, what's so crazy, I had it on PDF on my phone, and I emailed it to you. And I ain't going to lie, man, knowledge is power. You really, man, I lost color talking to you. I was like, you gave me the bad news, but it was good news. You get it? It was honest. Man, it was honest. Yeah, it was some shit I already knew. That's what I was scared of, because you already broke it down in one of your videos of a few individuals that have received the paperwork that I had received. But I had received it through a third party who was building their entrepreneurship on helping brothers and sisters on getting beneath the child support system, And you named it. As soon as you read it, he was like, that's Rick W. Yeah. I was like, motherfucker. I've watched 10 videos on this motherfucker, man. Then I went and looked at this nigga, Rick W. Excuse my God, forgive me. I didn't mean to say nigga, but I went and checked him out. And I just lost all color. I'm in my car at the same time, so I'm trying to drive, and I'm looking at this Rick W. And I'm just mad at myself that I didn't get at y'all right away. But right. But I learned something, that patience is key, and knowing is half the battle. And so I still had time. So I had to take myself out of the depression of getting the truth, but knowing the truth is the truth. And then when I got home 10 minutes later, me and you got on the phone again. I sent the donation, you received it, and then you picked my paperwork from the county apart. You picked their paperwork. Man, you were so raw-headed that for real. When I had child support cases back in the late 90s and early 2000s, I was like, bro, them paid lawyers didn't even talk to me that well. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even come even close to that conversation, and I gave them thousands of US dollars. So I felt like, well, God will handle them. You know? Yeah. So anyway, you picked my paperwork apart, and I ain't gonna lie, I was feeling good that I had got your attention. I was feeling good that, the hurtful part that my heart was saying, this brother knows what he's talking about, and you found him. That's the good part, but you've been dealing with some other people who's not official as of they should be, Not saying they're not trying to help, because we're all in the same fight, because this is unfair to have a non-custodial and a custodial. We should be 50-50, at least in the beginning, So anyway, you picked it apart. I got the real information. Then I went back to the drawing board, and then just did self. I'm intelligent enough to remap my my blueprint. So you gave me a whole new blueprint, a whole new outlook. I basically accepted what I sent the county, which was wrong. Which you told me, like, man, they're probably gonna throw it out or not even look at it, right? And then you was like, well, you can't renege on it. I can't build on somebody else's information that you told me. But then you also gave me some light at the very end of you giving me the bad news, which actually was good news, but it was bad at the time. You gave me, man, I swear to God, man, you gave me a flashlight in a cave. Yep. Man, imagine being in a goddamn cave and then somebody just say, hey, here's a flashlight. Not a match, but a motherfucking flashlight with Duracells. I was like, oh, shit. Hey, man, because I wasn't going to sleep that night after that information. I wasn't, man. I was going to be a tossing and turning motherfucker. But you gave me the flashlight, and then you laughed. Yep. You laughed, and I love you for that, because you put humor behind the pain. And yep. One thing I do know in my 49 years on earth, every time that I have pain, that I laugh behind it, because that's what's going to help heal my pain. You have to sometimes laugh at your own pain, So you laughed, and then the laugh that you gave me was, he's got something coming after. Then you was like, well, man, we're going to do X, Y, Z. If this don't go that way, we got time to respond. So take a deep breath, don't you still gonna live. You still got this. You still got him. I was like, oh, man. I was like, man, I want to choke him, man, because he had me scared. I couldn't breathe. But, at the end of the day, you gave me light. You gave me light, and I thank you for that, man. Yeah, you definitely, I sometimes I have words that explain who you are, but you definitely are somebody that's needed in this community. Because I've been through it previously, this is a new adventure getting back into it. So, like the things you were talking about, I kind of knew from experience. but you made it so concrete and you made it translatable and relatable, you know, and you know, you don't preach, but you also thank God in every verse.
Yep.
You spit it and you thank God. You say, man, this ain't me, man. This is God. So you can hate who I am in the flesh, but I don't control this truth that I'm delivering.
That's
See,
what it is.
Yep. Yeah. In every scripture, I don't care. And one thing what made me love who you are and knew that your word was 100. Anybody that reads any scripture in any religion, bro, the messenger is always alone, bro. He don't travel in packs. You don't see him in packs. And then when he needs somebody volunteers the testimony on their own behalf from their own heart, passion, wanting to tell the world that, hey man, this is the truth. You know, this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta tell you, like, the donation money that I spent and the knowledge I got, there was a week that I sent one and I was broke for a week. But man, you know what? I slept good that week.
Yeah.
I was broke, but I slept good as fuck. I really did. Man, I got one of those 14-year-old sleeps. You know, you ain't got no job, your parents pay everything, you can sleep till 2 o'clock in the evening if you want. I had a good week. So, you know, you basically got me going, and I started communicating with my kids' mom, my son's, my seed's mother, and then we were trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out why the county's coming to me. I know why, but I'm trying to ask her, you know, why are you proceeding with it? And she's basically telling me, well, it's for daycare only. She goes, I didn't put child support on you. So I went and read my paperwork with Yah, and Yah broke it down. That's what the case was. He broke it down that I was a Title IV D case, which was her getting AFDC, anything, you know, like daycare or something like that. She wasn't getting medical because she got medical. Right. So once I figured out the loophole, I was like, oh, okay. Then y'all already told me they don't have jurisdiction as long as I can X them out. So it's not like I already knew this child is mine because I had already been giving her money every month. You get it? I gave her a debit card. I suggest everybody that this is just a personal suggestion. Everybody wants to take care of their child. They want to do it privately. But in law, if you're not married and living in the same house, you have to contribute US dollars to the mother or whoever's holding the child. So I knew this part about law. So I went to this little thing called card.com. It's some prepaid shit. And I got a couple debit cards from them. I sent one to her, you know, as soon as I found out the child was mine, you get it? So I sent one to her. So I started sending her money. Thank God for COVID, my court case got pushed out 8, 9, 10 months, you know. That gave me time to build on what I'm dealing with, to understand, to even get to Yah's magnify. You get it? Because if it wasn't for COVID, not that I encourage COVID, it just kind of gave me time to understand this situation.
Correct.
So, where was I at? Bottom line, man, me and her, you know, she been getting money from me, you know, and I knew that even if I didn't get the answer to help this fight, at least I can show a paper trail that I have been taking care of my child, and I'm not just some worthless dude that knows he got a child out here, and no, you know, because it costs money to take care of a seed. I don't care, it do. So anyway, gave her this debit card every month. I sent her $400. I did that for like 2.5 years until it was actually time for me to go into the parentage court where they do the adjudication and they make me legally the father, you know, because I did it that way so that she'll know that I'm a real dude without being forced by some child. Because she had already been getting money, you know, for years, all through COVID. When people were saying they didn't even have money, she was still getting that $400 a month from me. You get it? Even when I didn't even have a job. I made sure that I sent her money. She has my son.
Right, exactly.
You know, so I also knew that once I got in front of the law, the county, the state, that first thing you don't want is arrears. Because then they're gonna put a judgment on me, they're gonna mess with my credit, they're gonna make my FICOs drop. No, they're gonna start losing credit cards. My vendors are gonna start closing my accounts because they'll be like, well, yeah, you've been paying us, but now you've got child support. We're scared of you now. So right. I knew to make sure, okay, if I'm going to be paying some child support in the future, at least I don't have any arrears. So I made sure that baby mom could not say, well, he ain't been giving me no money. That's a goddamn lie. I got the paper trail from the debit card. You get it?
Right. Yep.
You know? Right. So, and I learned, and I picked this certain debit card where she can go to U.S. Bank and withdraw for free, where she's not even getting charged for withdrawals. You see? So I'm thinking smart, where she can't say, well, they're charging me for pulling your money out. No, it's free, baby. So I worked that out, okay? And in addition, I was dropping off clothing, winter coats, toys. You know, I'm doing what a father's supposed to do, man. You know, my child's here. I can't return them, and I'm not trying to return them. So, you know, I did everything I'm supposed to do. And then it just came to the day that it was time to go to court. Got into court, but I had been talking to you, and you basically was telling me, you know, before I went to court, you was coaching me like, you know, just relax, man. You know, just stand in your square, And, you know, I've been trying to fathom that image in my head about this square. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do I paint this motherfucker? But really, it's about really your verbalage and then, you know, and what you object to. Okay? Yep. You know, so really remember, child volunteer. So when you get on the phone with them or however you're doing court, just object. Right. Because it's volunteer. If you don't say nothing, that means you agree. And so I learned that from Yaz Magnify. So we ended up having court over the phone, the Zoom. The baby's mom, all of them on court, the lawyer, the magistrate. So we basically talking about the case and when we had sex, when the child was made, and when she filed for services and how she filed. You know, she filed over the phone, and you know, so it got to the little expenses part about it, and then they got into the DNA. They say, well, you know, we find that you're the father. Do you agree? Right. Now, I started to say, hell no, but you know, like after talking to Yaz Magnified, I had already sent in some bogus paperwork that I might have to answer to after that question. So right. I just agreed, you know. Because I still had an exit mission with Yah. You get it? So even whatever happens in this court day here, I still got an exit before they ask. With Yah, I've learned, yes, they can make a lock, but there's always a locksmith.
Exactly.
You understand? So, okay. So I was on that measure for energy. I said, don't worry, I got a locksmith. You're going to lock me up, I'll be out of this motherfucker within a week or two. You know? Right. So... Yes, long story short, we talked about the reason why I'm in court was because she was receiving daycare currently, and they want their money. So they basically feel like I should pay her child support. You know what I'm saying? So I made a statement that I'm already supporting my child, and then the child support worker testified saying, yes, the mother did tell me he's been taking care of the child since day one financially through a debit card system. And then, you know, she said it, everybody agreed to it. And then they started talking about arrears at that point. Then the lawyer for the state said, well, we don't want anything. Because legally you can't. Because I never agreed to the contract that she's in anyway. Exactly. First of all, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I never agreed to that contract. So you actually can't say that, hey, you got arrears. They already knew that. And plus, they couldn't do me because I already had a paper trail of already taking care of the offspring. You know what I'm saying? So they knew that wasn't a fight. They knew I could fight that and get rid of that. But, you know, anyway, so that got done with. And they started talking about future child support payments. And then I stated to everyone that I don't agree with this contract. I'm not with it. I don't believe in the Title IV contract. And then at that point, the judge said she did not receive any paperwork from me.
Right.
Okay, now remember now, I sent them paperwork.
Right.
And it talked about the Title IV and everything. So part of the paperwork must have ruffled their feathers.
Right.
And they were thinking like, hopefully this person, which I'm not a person, you know,
right.
I'm a human being, I am a man. They was
right.
hoping that this person will agree before he figures it out, you know?
Right. Yep.
So,
but you got to look at it too. The court always say at the beginning they don't have your paperwork, no matter what it is. The reason why they say that because most people don't have a file stamp copy to present to court. So if
exactly.
you don't have a file stamp copy to present to court and you can't prove that you served it or filed it, then they're going to look at it as if you didn't never send them nothing anyway, even though they're looking right at it. So they want to see if you want to admit to having or you're going to show proof that you do have a file stamp copy. Once you show your proof of file stamp copies, then they'll proceed forward with the paperwork that you said that you filed into the court because you have evidence that you did actually file.
Yes. And you know what? You are so right, y'all, because you warned me on that. And you warned a lot of us on that in your video. So actually, when they said that they didn't have it, I expected it, you right. know, because you warned me. So I didn't fight the measure because you already said from your analogies that it was no good anyway. So let's not even talk about that. Let's just move forward because we have a plan for the future. So I was kind of thankful that they kind of said they didn't. But anyway, we got to talking about child support futures. Me and the mother, we make good money. I mean, I can't lie. I worked for a large corporation here in Minnesota that is global, and she works for the county that's taking us to court. You know what I'm saying? It's really crazy. And I'm trying to explain to her, like, you know, we're both professionals. You know, we shouldn't be receiving no AFDC nothing. And then when I did talk to the daycare assistance program, you know, they was like, well, man, you guys are above the amount that we even allow. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, y'all wouldn't even qualify even if you was trying to do it as a household. You know what I'm saying? Because if you guys live together, there is no child support, period. There ain't no, well, I'm putting him on child support. No, that's one household. They can't do that. And actually, the magistrate even said that to me during my hearing. You know, if we live together, then there's no, you know, but since we don't, you know. So basically, we started talking about finances, about future payments. And they broke it down where the lawyer was saying that he wanted me to pay like $479 a month for support, and then he wanted $483 for daycare, and then they wanted $86 a month for medical. So I was already at $1,000 per month for one goddamn kid. Now I'd be damn.
That hurt, man.
Yeah, I'll be damned if I got look. I'm being 100 because here, daycare ain't cheap. I did my research. My son daycare is at the Y, the most expensive MF out there. They want $1,500 a month for care. Okay, I understand. It costs money. It's not cheap. No problem. I told my kids, Mom, we can find cheaper daycare. She don't want to. No problem. But I'm like, I'll be damned if I got to pay the county $1,000. I'd rather pay that myself.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because she's a professional. She got to pay in on the daycare assistance program. They got her paying $500 a month.
Right.
You get it? So we're both basically getting sued. You get it? So I tell her, I said, let's just pay the daycare ourselves and let's cut out the county. So I use some of the techniques, and I don't even want to call it a technique. I use some of the common sense that I learned from y'all as far as my conversation with her. You know, not ever being mad at her, not getting upset, not texting her crazy shit. I just kept strictly to the business. And a lot of times she didn't respond right away when I text her. But, you know, I had good faith that I had a good legal team as far as y'all's magnified that I was going to prevail even if she didn't respond.
Yep.
So we both agreed before court that, you know, we're going to just basically get adjudicated, basically marry me to the child, and then see what they trying to award her with, and then we're going to close the case.
Right.
I said, no, let's close this shit during the court. Let's tell them we don't want their services, and then they don't have no jurisdiction. She trying to tell me, well, they do. I said, no, they don't. This is our property. Right. So once she understood that this child is our property, this offspring or seed is our property, they can't intervene nothing. So we get into the phone call with court. They tell me that they want $1,000 per month. And like right before I went into the court, I had talked to Yaz Magnified, and you gave me some wise words. You basically said it's gonna go like XYZ when you get off the phone with the court. Man, let your kid's mom know that it's gonna be like this if you don't, cooperate with me. You know what I'm saying? In this day and age, a real righteous mother wants their child to be with their father, especially if he's not a bum.
Exactly.
And I'm not a bum, Everybody in Minneapolis know who I am. If you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very famous. I'm from the George Floyd corner. I have a business there. So, everybody know that I'm personally not a bum, and I ain't trying to big myself up. And she knows it. So, she was kind of teeter-totter in between the court, and then I heard her tell the magistrate, well, we're thinking about closing the case, closing the daycare. And then the judge was like, well, currently, we're still going to proceed because your daycare is still open. So they're basically saying, we're still going to charge your baby daddy child support, period. We're going to send his job, the paperwork, and we're going to start collecting from him. So they did it. We got off the phone. I immediately got off the phone with them, called my kid's mom. And then, I just told her, how y'all was telling me. He was just like, look, brother, we got a plan. You're going to stick to it. We're going to work it out. You're going to have to sweat some bullets, but it's going to be good in the end. And you got to let her know one thing, that you're getting off child support, and this is her chance for you to still be with the son and take care of your child like you've been doing. Now, when we get done with you, I ain't got to do nothing.
Right.
Now, I told her that. I said, yeah, I'm righteous. I'm going to take care of my child, but don't make me go get some legal help. And then, I'm going to take it to a higher court. Yeah. And when she heard that, she didn't even say shit. She hung up the phone with me, right? I'm thinking like, damn, I done messed up. I done scared the shit out of her. But then I prayed on it. No lie, man. I prayed on it. Because I already fucked up by taking that Rick W paperwork and sending it to the county, and then thanking God that they overlooked it. So I'm like, man, well, hopefully I didn't take some more bad advice. But, it was verbalage, but verbalage is just as strong as penmanship. So she texted me back and she said, all right, cool. We're gonna reverse this. So I took it to the stand and I called the daycare and I had my name added to the daycare bill. Right. Because the whole issue was with the state was the daycare. So you told me straight up, you was like, if you get rid of the daycare through the county, they can't touch you. So that was my main goal, was to let her know, if you let the county keep attacking me, I'm not going to come around and be with my child, because the county, like you said, y'all, the county's his daddy now.
Exactly.
You tell the county to take him to the Timberwolves basketball game. You tell the county to take him to the Mall of America and buy his Jordans. You tell the county to go to his, to do whatever. You tell the county to do that. And once I told her that, she was like, I don't want the county to do that.
He said, well, that was what she signed up for when she went down there.
And then last but least, I told her this too. I said, you basically are suing me. Why are you suing me? She goes, I'm not suing you. They doing it. I said, no, you're suing me because you're not allowing me to work with you on the finances of the relationship that we have with our offspring. Okay? So that's the biggest problem with us as people, is that, we act as adults. We take care of little personal bills, light bill, gas bill, feed ourselves, have sex, go to the club, drink, whatever, socialize. But when it comes to our kids, we seem to have a really hard time with just sitting down and doing the mathematics on paper to say, let's take care of our offspring without the county.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not all women really want to put you on child support. They don't, because it was just proven to me now in my case that my kid's mom didn't really want to put me on child support. It's just that she needed that extra help for daycare because she can't afford $1,500 a month by herself. And I know that. And I was only giving her $400, right? Yeah. But her deductible was $525. So I was giving her $400 and she was paying $125, and the state was covering the rest, paying the YWCA daycare for my child.
Right. So the state just wanted to be reimbursed for what they was doing for your child. But you was basically telling the state already that I'm already doing these things for my child. I don't need you to even pay for daycare. I can do that on my own. You
Correct.
See? And then but they were like, because she was still signed up for daycare, then they're going to also hold you for support as well until you guys decide what you wanted to do. And then that's what I told you once you hung up the phone, because you said that, she also switched up on you in the last minute. And then I was like, well, I told you there's a possibility for that to happen. Once they hit that money, and that's a lump sum of money, anybody would be tempted to take that. Now, understanding that even if that money is going to still go back to the state somehow. So that's what I told you to tell her, exactly what I had you say to her. But also, I never gave you no type of paperwork or anything. I just spoke you through your case over the phone. I didn't give you anything, right?
Yes, correct. So all I did was got consultation that really helped my case to get closed, because like you said, every case is different and you can attack it in different ways. Like some of us we want to take care of our kid. We have the ability. We just don't want to. We want to do it privately. You know what I'm saying? So one thing you did tell me that did help. Check this out. So you always told me, like, just object to whatever you don't like. So they was trying to charge me the $1,050 a month, and I told the judge that I object to that. I said I can't pay that. Right. So when I got the paperwork of the whatever she wanted to judgment on me about, they actually reduced it to $740. So they took like $260 off, when we got the paperwork. You get it? So I was like, okay, well, I'm paying less than $1,000. So then, when they hit my check, I seen it, but I was like, well, man, I'm still making good money. Okay. So even if she don't take the child support off, I'm gonna deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Just an extra day of overtime per month. Okay, we gonna work it out. But then I was like, nah, y'all told me to be thorough about it.
Be firm, man, and stand on it. You have to stand on it.
So I got back on that phone. Got back on that AT&T and was like, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna give you 7 days. I need you to drop that daycare. If I don't see that daycare drop, I'm gonna change my phone number. And now the only way you're going to find me is through child support.
Yeah, I'm out.
At this point, I'm out. At this point, you have no right to communicate with me, and I'm coming back with some paperwork that's going to knock your socks off. Now, check it out. She already seen the Rick W. paperwork, so she was already probably semi-spooked. You get it? Because the language in there will fuck you up if you don't know what you read.
Exactly.
So she was probably like, ooh, that nigga about to come back with some super shit, because this nigga's not bullshit. So anyway, I told her, I raised my son. Don't take it as a threat, but we can do this privately. And then about 3 days later, man, she sent me a text stating that she closed the daycare with the county. And then I was like, damn, everything y'all magnified told me, it pretty much came true. But it came true after the bad news of serving them the Rick W. paperwork. You get it? Because you was gonna have to clean up the after effect of what I used. You get it? And basically incriminating myself. So
because in the paperwork, you on the paperwork it states that you saying that you are the father of the child. Basically, on the paperwork, you're admitting and establishing a parent-child relationship what the court needs in order to proceed forward. So that's why the court was going to proceed forward anyway, because the paperwork itself is stating that you are the father of the child.
Yeah. So it was too late. I mean, I was pretty much burnt up, but you know, you had already picked the lock. Man, I ain't gonna lie, brother. You ran through my paperwork so well that when you read it back to me, man, I was ready for the war. You know, I had read it, you know, and I understood, but you was like, this was blah, blah, blah. I was like, wow. I was like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready now. You know, I was ready, you know, because I was like, now I'm ready to spit. But you know what? The good thing about it, even though I understood, I didn't have to say too much in court because I knew when to say something, you know, and not out of order. So fast forward, she been working with me, brother, and I just been using your tactics, staying in my square. I contacted child support, you know, to tell the worker that we getting the case closed. You know, she said, oh, well, I hear that all the time. Right. I said, no, I said, this didn't close. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, the thing about it, too, you do got to be an active father. If your kid's mom is using some of those resources, you got to go in and add yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, no lie. Like back in the day with my other kids, my ex-wife, we had daycare assistants and they never took me to child support court, right? That's because we were on the application together. So the catch-22 is don't let her file without you. Right. You see, if you're going to use their products, which I don't agree with anyway. So anyway, you know, fast forward, she disengaged with the assistance program. I did get confirmation because she had sent me a letter, you know, via email. She took a picture of it. It basically said on this day in October, you know, we are no longer funding your child at this daycare facility XYZ. So I knew that she was working with me, but then I got a paycheck last week and I saw $186 deducted and had support. So I was kind of sad. I was like, damn, they fucking finally hit me. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I also knew that if I didn't get her to get at the child support worker, that they were going to continually to collect until she pressed the button to say close it. Because even though the daycare was closed, they were still going to proceed because it's a business for them. You see what I'm saying? So I had to tell her that. I was like, look, baby girl, you entered into a contract with the county. You are suing me. Right. Because she said she wasn't. I said, no, you are. So you know what I did? I even showed her one of your videos, just a snippet. I didn't show her everything. I just got into the part where it showed you telling, like, you're being sued. You get it? Yeah. Then once she saw, you're being sued. Then once she said that, she felt bad. She was like, damn, you know, nigga, I ain't trying to sue you. Right. She said, I can take care of my son without you. I just need daycare help. I said, well, you know what? You got more than daycare. You have a father for your child. I'm not no bogus dude. Let's just get the county out the way. And then once I got her to understand the true logistics, you know, look, she didn't really want to close the case until I told her about the business, about the contract side. You get it? The AFD, the Title IV. Once I gave her that information, then she was like, I'm closing that. Yeah. Because if this is really what it is, we don't need that. You see what I'm saying? So today I'm at work. I gave it, you know, I had to push a button again on her. And then she texted me back and said, hey, I got confirmation from the child support worker, Kim. She said the case is closed. This would be your last payroll deduction this week. And then she will send you a letter stating that it's closed as well. I said, oh, for real? So then I fucking jumped off my forklift, ran to the damn break room, and I'm here somewhere, man. I hid behind a machine. Man, I blew the motherfucking child support worker up. Bro, I blew her up and I emailed her, right? And told her that, I told her in the email that I was sneaking to make a phone call for her to call me back. And she called me back, God willing. Right. And then she said, yes, I talked to your son's mother, and yes, your case is being closed. Yep. She said, we are sending your employer a deceased letter, to basically no more deduction. They'll receive that by today or tomorrow. I said, oh my God. I couldn't believe it, because it's still unreal to me, even though I don't have the paperwork physically in my hand. I did talk to the mother and I went to our caseworker. You get it?
Right.
To the point where I told the caseworker, after I started getting knowledge from you, I told her, hey, this going to be closed in 2 weeks. And you know what? I'm going to be real with you, bro. It's 2 motherfucking weeks.
I told you.
Yeah. Remember, they got me at 2 paychecks support. You get it? That's 2 weeks. And now it's over. Yep. So she said that I'll receive it in the mail because she sent it out today. You know what I'm saying? So I'll get it by tomorrow or Saturday. And then I'm going to send you over I'm going to send you over everything. First, I'm going to get everything from the mom, from her receiving the letter saying that the daycare is closed, up until the point where we're getting it from Hennepin County Child Support and Collections here in Minnesota, Minneapolis, stating that I'm free, you know what I'm saying? And I'm speechless, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good, man. Y'all, you are the realest. You got to keep doing what you do. God put you there for a reason. And like I say, man, the messenger, man, he don't run in groups, man.
Exactly.
He don't.
By myself, man. I do everything alone, man. I'm a lone soldier.
Yeah. The messenger. Go read the scripture. Any scripture, man. You can read the Quran, whatever you believe in. Man, whoever that man was who delivered the message, he was by himself when he delivered it. And you know what's so crazy? He had more stones thrown at him than the average man.
Exactly. Yep.
You see?
Because people don't want to hear that truth, man. When that truth is out there, that truth affects people first. But then after a while, when they see it, they have to admit, themselves that everything that I'm saying is true. Even like you say, you spoke to the other brother on the other YouTube channel, and he told you as well that, he probably called me by my real name, but he told me, well, I know what I'm talking about. And that's what's up. That's a shout out to him too as well for even being honest and telling you that. You know what I mean? Because he didn't have to be honest and tell you that. But for him to be honest and tell you that, much respect for that, man.
Well, at that point, you had so many videos that it wasn't, man, like you had so much, man, you just had so much business, man, where he couldn't deny you, man. Even a liar can't deny you. Like someone who wants to even make you to be fake, he can't even win, because I ain't gonna lie, out of all the information that you have on there, man, and you're giving it for free, and it's just unbelievable. My case is different, man. Like I said, I mean, we had a plan to go further than this, you know what I'm saying? But that's how God is, you know what I'm saying? He put me with a spiritual person that fears God. I fear God. God knows our heart. In my belief, man, like, man, I believe how God weighs your heart with a feather. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if your heart is outweighing the feather, man, you're too much, So you're too much. But, man, I really appreciate you. And I'm still going to be following the channels because I still have a minor child, and the knowledge don't stop just because, okay, the case is closed and X, Y, Z. It don't stop. I have to always stay updated with you. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for anybody who has prevailed their case with you and they've won. It's to the point where you can't just stop learning. You know what I'm saying? So, and every time I check you out, you always got something new. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so you got produce, bro. You know what produce is?
Yeah.
Produce, it's fresh. You know what I'm saying? Groceries is groceries. You can have that shit on a damn shelf for a half a year to a year, But you're delivering produce, and not everybody's gonna get the information. They're gonna get it late, man. But I love you, man. I really do, as a brother, man. And I pray for you, bro. You have given me success. You've given me a peace of mind. I'm sitting here right now, October 21st. You know, bro, you don't even know how I feel. Like, I remember this one dude, you had just got his case closed, helped him. You know what I'm saying? And he said it's unreal.
Yeah.
He said, like, I don't even feel like I'm alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, damn. I said, man, that's a good feeling. I said, I would love to feel like that.
Yes, it's crazy, especially when you're going through it, man. Because when you're going through it, you don't see that light at the end of the tunnel, you know. But you keep saying to yourself, I have to stay diligent. I have to stay diligent. You know, I have to stay vigilant in this thing as well. So that, you know, when I stand my square, I have to mean it and actually do it, no matter what situation that y'all magnified is explaining to me. You know, like I said, everybody's case is different. Your case, I told you exactly what it was and what you needed to do to stop it. And I told you, you didn't really need paperwork or anything. You know, and I also said I couldn't give you paperwork because the paperwork you already had into the court going to contradict everything that I'm trying to do. So I'm like, well, go in there and do that. But also, you know, tell your child mom exactly what it's going to be from here on out. You know, and she got today, you know, you simply draw a line in the sand. You decide which line she want to stay on. You know, and when we went to court, and she changed up on, like, man, she changed up on me. I said I had a feeling that she probably would do that because most women do that, you know, in the presence of the court, and the judge is going to automatically put some form of intimidation in. And then they say a big lump sum of money. They like, man, that do sound good. I could use that. Now understanding that it's coming at your, you know, coming at your expense, and you know, you tell her like, oh, I don't have it, just be given.
Oh, you know what else you said? Where I caught their ass by the tail. You was like, okay, so look, but I could have stopped the child support if I would have kind of like stayed on it. Okay, so I was like, I asked the judge, I said, do you have jurisdiction to determine who is non-custodial? Then the director, she said, no. I said, well, then you can't charge me child support until we find out who is. You know what I'm saying? I said I got joint custody, and then the kid's mom said, "Well, we're talking about it." I said, "No. No. I said, no. You can't even make a judgment because you even say that you're out of jurisdiction. You can't even make that judgment. So how can you even child?" Then they said, "Well, how we're doing it is that on her application, she said the child lives with her." I said, I said, what? Still, the child's with me too. Right. You know, I'm actually lying. I'm tell the truth. I'm lying, but I just wanted to hear their response. Right. So the judge was totally fucking agreeing with the shit. But then, you know, I had her, and I know I did, and I could have had it. And she says, "Well, what we're gonna do is schedule a hearing for that." Right. Then I could have said, well, then I said, well, then let's just get a forward date for the child support amount after that. But since I didn't word it like that, they went ahead and wrote it out like, oh, he don't know what's going. He know what's going on, but he don't know what's going on. So they end up giving me child support first before the custody hearing. You see, the child support is supposed to be after the custody hearing. If you disagree.
Right. Especially if you disputing the custody issue.
Yeah. And the child support worker told me after the goddamn court that I was right. I was like, you motherfucker.
You was right. Like I said, man, the reason why you let your guard down is because you thought that she was going to do the right thing. Because she told you she was when you went in there, but everything changed. So you was like, then she got me. She called me back and said, man, she got me, man. Like she switched up on me. Like I told you that could happen.
She did because, you know, honestly, they will turn the parents against each other when they come up with these dynamic numbers. You know, when she heard, damn, $1,000 for just one child, exactly. she's thinking like, damn, you know, I could use that, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, they mention how much she makes, and she makes more than me, and they're making her pay part of this daycare assistance program as well. So she thought about it, and you know, like, she was like, nah. But then another thing I think what really woke her up was, they offered the $1,000+, but when we got the response from the judge, they brought me down to $740, which she knows in her heart I can pay that. without a problem if you just let me. And now you're gonna separate me and my son and our relationship over $700. Go ahead, go sever that. And then that's when I was using that language you told me. You was like, yo, I'm drawing the line. This is it. This is your time limit. And I told her, I said, we already had court, so there's no reason for us to even be conversating no more. Either you want to work with me or you don't. You know what I'm saying? And she worked, and thank God she worked with me because, I had good energy behind me. I had, you beside me, giving me energy, giving me the energy that you can for what you do know of me and my case. You gave me blessings and it carried over, and she worked with me. And, I just basically just went with your techniques verbally, what we talked about. But in the back of my head and in my heart, I was ready for war, to do this to her. But I felt like, you have great work that I didn't want to have to do that work to her. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, because y'all had a rapport together, man. Even when you were telling me your story, I'm like, basically, to be honest, she don't even know that she was putting you on support. She thinking that it's for child care because y'all agreed to pay child care, not knowing that child care, they had her sign paper for support unaware. Right. So she didn't know she was taking for support at first either.
Correct. So, the language, man, she got it. And as of today, 2 weeks later, after our court case, it was confirmed verbally to me, not into paper form or email, that they are closing my child support case and they're closing my deductions from my payroll. And I will be still paying, I'm still going to be paying $1,000 a month for quote unquote child support, but I'm going to be paying it out of my own pocket. And I'm going to be paying it where vendors and like Visa, American Express, or whoever I want to get banking from can't see that I'm actually doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because if they can see that that's coming out of my check and that's a commitment, that hurts me more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Most guys, they don't give a fuck about paying the child support if you let them. But when you go and damage the credit, that's when we be like, fuck it, I ain't giving her shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because it's like, okay, the kid is both ours, but you're not tarnishing her credit. You're not doing nothing to her. Oh man, it's all a setup, and they know it. And it's a setup, man. It's a set. I really believe it's a setup to conquer and divide the families in the United States, because it makes the government do whatever they can do. Because if there was more fathers, it wouldn't be the president that we even have today. Fathers are being oppressed where they don't even want to vote. If they claim the voting system is really what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, go vote, we'll win. But, and some women, man, they deserve child support. But for you women that your kid's father will pay, man, just sit down with them, man, and figure out the monies. If you gotta go get a second job, go get the second job. If you got a business that you're running, go get a part-time job. And then not to be off of the subject, but right now, this COVID thing, I don't know where you're from. You said DC. Here in Minnesota, man, they're paying $25, $26 an hour start because they can't get enough people to work because of COVID, right? So this would be a good time, if you haven't been working, to go get a job that's paying a high wage, that when they do take child support, you still can live. Instead of getting a $10 an hour or $15 an hour job, they're actually paying in the 20s right now.
Yeah, but even when you look at it, like, child support is so greedy. When you start making more money, they don't do nothing but petition the court, take what you make more too, and then end up raise your support. You see, so like I was telling you before, I was like, when you in there, once they sink their teeth in you, then they feel as though they have you.
They do that. They do the COLA, the cost of living adjustment.
Exactly. So that's why I've been telling you, like, if if she don't take your warning, then we're going to attack. But, you need to be apart when you're doing this attack. You don't need to, because you're going to, you're going to want to see your son no matter what. You know what I mean? So, but tell her, when you win, then you will see your son.
That's what I told her.
You are my enemy, and we at war, and I'm going to fight you to the core. You see?
Yeah, that's what I told her too, Terry. I was like, because you told me that. You was like, man, just tell her then, because that was her problem too. She was like, yeah, you've been giving me money, but you ain't came to see him. You don't. She was like, her exact words were, well, you don't fuck with him. I said, well, it's not that I don't want to hang out with my son. The fact of it is, you are suing me. So, I said, and I asked her this question. I said, don't you hate fake people? She was like, yeah, I hate fake people. I said, well, that'll be fake of me that you have me on child support and I'm coming out, hanging out at your house or picking up my son, laughing like it's like everything's okay.
Right, but
and it's not.
Right.
So, she agreed to it, man. It just takes support from common like minds to come together and to not be, to not be verbally aggressive to these non-understanding human beings. And, man, knowledge is power, and we all can't do this by ourselves. But, I tell everybody, man, just seek God first, right?
Seek God
for sight, because He gonna give you the knowledge. He might not give you the knowledge directly, but He'll give you the sight to go get the knowledge,
And everything else to be added to you. He said, seek God first, and everything else to be added to you. The kingdom will be added to you once you seek the Most High first. That's why I always put the Most High in everything that I do, because without Him, none of this is possible.
Too, what made me understand you more is that you said that you went through it yourself. So it's different when you get knowledge from someone who's never been through it versus someone that's been through it.
Yeah, I've been through it, man. So like I said, I know what people going through, especially when you're a good father, man,
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, to be honest, man, no man deserves to be on support. You know what I mean? Like, even those who don't want to take care of their father, take care of their child, the Most High will deal with them on His own time. We don't need the state to deal with it. The Most High will deal with them. And again, the Most High, He always provides. Like the Messiah said, look at the birds. The birds eat, they're clothed. They don't have to worry about nothing.
Correct.
Like the Messiah said, isn't our life more valuable than theirs? Which is true. So you don't think the Most High going to provide for you like He provided for any other animal out here without having to work and stuff like that? No, He'll take care of us as well. We just got to put our faith in Him first, and everything else to be added to us.
Correct. Yeah, and you got to let these thirsty law word throwers, you got to be able to conversate with them. To anybody that's fighting child support, man, the first thing to do is learn the language. There's a language to it. I'm pretty sure y'all, because you preach it, but like, you're never gonna win going to child support. Oh, you're never gonna win going in there yelling, being upset, or there was something you said. Oh man, you say it all the time. Controversy.
Controversy and arguing the facts.
Yeah, you don't go in there. I learned that, and I didn't do that. That was part of my success. Even though they hit me with the child support, I could be in a way worse situation if I will, man. That controversy, man. Be careful of that.
Yeah, And what they say, level heads always prevail, man. And you kept that level head. So like I said, every time you call me, I told you what to do. I say you just gotta stick with it. Don't let off of it, no matter what you do. Like I can tell everybody, everybody's situation is different. Some people gotta go to court and fight that hard fight. Some people, it's just a miscommunication between the parents. So if the parents can come together and take care of their own child the way they see fit, that's all that matters.
Yes.
It's nice to see everybody going to court when it courts as well, or beat the agency down as well. That's cool too. But if it's not necessary, then it's not necessary. Take the W how it comes.
Yes. Yeah. So there is a percentage of some of the moms, even dads. There's some dads that have control, over the moms. We're living in a lustful world where it's kind of hard to communicate because everyone's so lustful. But if you can get beyond the lustful, it's just work out the finances, and it's gonna hurt when you find out what it costs, what it really costs to take care of a child. Like me, like I'm at $1,000 a month, doing it directly, privately, but that's what it costs. It's
exactly. Another thing about it is you know exactly where your money is going because you're taking it to the daycare and them yourself, which you would have done anyways because it's your son. So it ain't like it's not you something you wouldn't do. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing, what you was doing prior to all this happening anyway. Just happened to end up in support, because she didn't know what was going on in the situation. She was thinking that, hey, I need this child care for help. I mean, he's helping me out true. That's why she admitted that in court. Like, yeah, he's helping me out true. But then they threw child support involved after that as well. She was like, well, hold on, But then she was like, but I'm going to go with it. And then you hit me up like, bro, she went with it. I was like, but I knew that was a possibility. I said, now say this, do this. And if she don't,
after that conversation right there, because I called you like she didn't really roll how I wanted her to roll. Then you told me that last little bit.
Yeah.
And then, because that right there we was basically loading up the gun with that. We was putting the bullet in the chamber, but we didn't cock it yet. You know what I'm saying? And then I gave it to her, and then she said, "Oh, I smell the gunpowder. This motherfucker, he about to come with some shit. Okay, let me hurry up and close this shit." And she did, she did, and it's been working out, man. And like I told her, let's just stay away from the county. And the biggest thing was that I had to let her know that she's suing me. You know what I'm saying? You're not only getting child support, whatever you're doing, but you're suing me. I think that's disrespectful for a person that's trying. You know what I'm saying? If I'm giving you money consistently, where you don't have to even speak to me for months in, and and when you do, you've been getting money, you don't have to put me on child support, But for there's those people who break up for relationships, cheating on each other. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of problems there, but everybody's case is different, man. And I'm just blessed that I found y'all's magnified. And I'm basically gonna stick with you, brother. I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna always send you a donation because the fact of it is that it's a blessing for you to keep going. It's gonna inspire you to keep going. And like we need to reuse this shit. We need to keep everybody updated because it's rare that you find someone like yourself, bro. Like, honestly, man, you do hit people back. You don't, like, you're busy. You should be. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be put on your tongue. But I ain't gonna lie, man, you do hit me back. You do answer questions. And on the 100, I noticed that you have passion when you look at paperwork.
Oh, yeah, it be pissing me off sometimes, man. Sometimes it be pissing me off. Because I'm like, they know what they're doing is wrong. They know exactly what I can see right through, the nonsense that's being said, and I can decode the words to see exactly how they're trying to manipulate the situation before it even get that far. Because they already show their hand from the very beginning.
Correct, they do. So, man, I think anybody who's ever helped you, man, your mentor, you've spoken about that individual in our conversation, man. I pray for that person, man. You're definitely needed. You're rare, man. I hope that your platform, it grows organically, you know what I'm saying, where, it'll shave off the people who don't need to get this information. Because, there is some people who are trying to get off child support and really don't deserve to be off of it. They're just dogs, they don't care at all. You know what I'm saying? They think a bitch is a bitch and he's on some pimping shit, Fuck all that. I'm not talking about that type of individual. I'm talking about fathers who want to be fathers. I remember back in the late 90s, I read something about black fathers. It was a thing, I think a survey. They said that 90% of black fathers will take care of their offspring if you let them.
If you let them, yeah, that's what it is. But the state knows that as well. So the state feels as though they have to separate the families in order to start controversy. Again, it's that word. Once controversy is in play, then the courts automatically have jurisdiction because controversy produces jurisdiction.
Right.
So to remove the controversy, you simply remove the jurisdiction. And it's just so stop going into these courts arguing, going back and forth about something that don't basically pertain to you unless you go in there and participate.
That's it. Man, and you know the craziest shit that I was trying to fathom and understand if it was true or not was the volunteer part.
Right.
Man, you was so fucking right, because when they got all done, they basically said I volunteered.
They tell you right up, you volunteered.
Yeah, he volunteered for the DNA. But I'm thinking to myself, like, motherfucker, you said I was gonna go to jail if I don't go and go and give you some spit or some, or whatever you wanted, man. Yeah. I probably would have never showed up, Yeah, and the other thing too, the other thing you said that everybody should always know, bro, keep up with all the paperwork.
Yep.
Don't throw nothing away.
Don't throw nothing away. But you got to go back to those documents, and make some corrections and stuff like that when you see a mistake.
Yeah.
You have your documents and be willing to stand on those documents as well. When you go back to the court and you file your own documents, countering those documents. You know what I mean? Like I stated, man, I had an op, that I was helping in the appeals court. He didn't get the desired results that he wanted. For the simple fact of the matter is because he went to someone before me. And then when he went to that person basically told him, don't respond back. Even though that person don't have
I remember that video.
Channel. Yeah, he don't have a YouTube channel no more. The person who helped him, he don't have a YouTube channel no more. Like I say, he was helping people for free. But so he took that advice from that person. And then that person basically put him in a situation that the smaller courts are using against him because he let the 30 days lapse without sending a response. And like I tell you, that non-response is agreement. So you must respond back to every document that they send you. If not, then they're taking that as your consent to justify them doing what they want to do to you. It's going to cost
you. Exactly. That is so fucking true. Oh my God. Hey, I got a question for you. You know the affidavit that people be talking about appearancing in court that you file so that you just there to review their information.
Right.
I forgot the name of that. I mean, is that really legit?
Well, you talking about
special appearance.
Yeah, it's legit if you file it properly and and you address your special appearance properly.
Okay.
It all depends on how you write it up and what your state thinks is special appearance.
Okay. Because I think that too, I think if I would have been able to have a special appearance available, I could have delayed the child support a little bit out a month or so, just until I got the mother to agree to a few more things, but they didn't even address it anyway. So that's why I asked about it.
Yeah, it works, the special appearance works. You just have to word it correctly, know what to say while you're special appearance. You see, because like what you said is, if someone say they want to see documents, then by they asking to see documents, they just did what? They just participated.
Correct.
Don't apply to me. Why you want to see that? I mean, it don't apply to me. I don't want to see nothing.
Correct.
It has nothing to do with me. So
correct.
I don't want to see your documents. I don't want to see anything. It has nothing to do with me.
That's what I told them too, and that did put them on pause when I told the court that I didn't agree with the Title IV contract and I didn't sign for it. And they basically agreed to what I was saying, but they kind of hummed over it. Like, you're right. And then that motherfucker jumped to the next one. They was quick with that shit.
Yeah, the next thing they probably jumped to was the fact that you voluntarily took the DNA test.
Thank you.
You see? So when you voluntarily took the DNA test, they said, we didn't put a gun to your head, so you got to take it. You went down and took it. Yeah, we probably threatened you, but we ain't going to mention that part. We're not going to say we threatened you. We're just going to say that you volunteered. Because you got to go down there to give your DNA. They don't tell you they don't force you to go down there. You decide to get up and go down there if you go. You want to go, you want to go. If you don't, no.
Yeah, they threaten you with that bully shit. Like if someone say, "Oh, when I see you, I'm gonna beat you up," but they ain't physically touched you yet. But it's just the fact that they say when they see you, you know what I'm saying, and that's what they're doing. And from what I'm reading legally, they're not even allowed to do that until you agree to the contract. Once you agree to the contract, then they can bully you. But before the agreement, they're not even allowed to make that type of a statement.
But then they also use the terms and conditions stating that if you don't do it within this amount of time, then the court going to make a ruling and automatically appoint you to fine, which is another marketing scheme. So it's like, what do I do now? You know, that happened with the brother that I was just telling you about. You know, the judge said, well, because you didn't respond back, the court automatically appointed you to fine.
Correct.
I started some paper. We started charging everything, but the court continues to go back to the fact that he had 30 days to respond back, which he didn't respond back to. And then they said that he did have a filed green card where he signed receiving that notice. Once he received that notice, that way, you know, that basically gave them jurisdiction, assigned him jurisdiction because he showed proof. So, you know, once we went in there and challenged everything, they still went back to that. You know, so I told him, like, you know, because you went to that person told you what to do, you know, and he didn't follow you up or lead you the right way. That's what happened, you know. But like I said, it's out. I told him, don't be upset because it wasn't his fault. You know, he didn't know, you know, but you just gotta take the bitter with the sweet and then just wait until you can go back in there and stand on your square and do what you need to do, you know. But as of now, it's like, well, now that they have that on you, and, you know, you just went to the appeals court as well, and the appeals court ruled with the lower court stating that, yes, you know, like you are not sending a response back or addressing the issue within the time permitted, then that automatically triggered the default, and that default now stands.
Right. Yeah, you got to respond. I mean, I learned that immediately. You know, the problem of it is with the response, you got to have a clear mind too when you respond, because just like me, I sent off that Rick W paperwork, but then the next day or so after I sent it off, I ended up contacting you and finding out that that was a bad idea, you know. So you got to always prep yourself. You can't be handling this child support issue on last minute basis. You know, like if they serve you today and they say you got 60 days for court, you don't wait 2 weeks before a court to start dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? You start dealing with it from time that they gave it to you, because it's hot potato. You're it. It's like playing it. You're it. You know? So you got to not be it anymore. So, you know, that's major, you know. So, and that's why I prevailed actually today, even though I was thankful enough not having to use the paperwork that we were going to use. The conversation beat it down, but I stayed adamant on it from the time that I received the paperwork, you see. Yep. So I believe that helps me a lot. And just studying, like, honestly, brother, like, you really have a really wonderful page. Like it's like what I learned too. The reason why I said I watch each video at least 20 times, because every time I watch it, I learn something new. Like for real, it could be a teardrop, and then it'll connect. It's like connecting a street. You know what I'm saying? And it just connects it, man. I'm like, oh fuck, that's what he meant. You know. Then I gotta go back, rewatch it again. You know, and actually, it's good. It's good education. I gotta, you know, we all have studied for something in the human life, but I gotta admit, it's been really good education for me. It turns my mental on to something that it likes. Even though I'm dealing with pressure, dealing with this family financial thing, but it's still enjoyable to know that there is a relief. It's just that you just gotta study. You know, gotta study, and then, you know, it gets to the point after you study the information that you do provide. You know, what I was doing too, you know, just saving money because I knew I was going to donate. You know what I'm saying? I said, you know what? Hell no. This week I'm going to have 50. The next week I'm going to have 100, you know? And I said, all right, well, when he, you know, whatever he say, if it's $1, I'm going to have it. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter, because the information I got from you, shit, I mean, man, that shit's valuable. Like, I even share with my friends, like, when I have conversations with them about their kids, I'll be like, well, man, you know, you should approach it this way. So really, the information is being given, not directly from you, but like giving the next person hope that when they're actually ready, I can send them to you. You know what I'm saying?
Not only that, you can also coach them for what you know from me. You know, like, well, hold on, I've been down this path before. Do this, say this, right? I'm telling you, just say this and stand on it. You will see a change. Just, you know, you got to say this first. Don't send nothing off first. You have to say this and see what happens.
Yeah,
you know? Because, like I said, sometimes it's just simple miscommunication too, man. You know, like a lot of stuff can be worked out, you know, without them people's in your business. Because every man's going to take care of their seed no matter what. You know, it's just the point of having the opportunity to take care of your seed the way you see fit. You know, ain't nobody trying to tell you how to take care of yours. You know how to take care of your seed. You know, people are competent enough to do those things. It's just the mom who's incompetent that goes down and applies for services. You see? And then they take the mom's incompetency and put her incompetency on you and try to say that we are obligated to support her incompetencies. Nah, it don't work like that.
Right.
It don't work like that, you know? And that is not on me to support them. You know, it's on me to take care of my child as a man. That's true. But anything else is not on me. As long as I take care of my child, you know, and my seed, and, you know, be there for my seed when my seed needs me and provide for my seed. That's all I care about, man. You know, I don't care about nothing else. Only thing that matters. But I ain't gonna hold you up for so long. You got any closing word that you want to?
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is, man, I love you, man. I appreciate, the God-given words that you spread it to me, man. You gave me knowledge and power and understanding of self. And, I'm still a pupil in your classroom. Even though I graduated today, I'm still in class, you know what I'm saying? And I'm proud to be in class, and my donations, man. This is a forever fight. This is not one of those fights when you get free, you stop. You got to continue to fight so that we can get more people across. You know what I'm saying? This is our man, bro. This is the new slavery, and you are freeing people. You do got testimony. I was in doubt in the very beginning about you because you're supposed to be, but you have proven to me from just, man, your knowledge is better than a lawyer. I mean, dude, I've spent thousands. Your knowledge is better than a lawyer's, and you give a regular person understanding. So, I just suggest if you're going to run into Yah's Magnify, I suggest to study the page first, go through the videos, watch. If you like a video, watch that video at least 20 times. And 20 times is not a lot because it's a video. You're not like you're actually reading it. And then you can go to the next video, go through the whole library, and then, contact him. And then, if you got a couple of dollars, man, send a donation so he can give you some of his time. Time is money. That, a day is too short, So that's what I suggest. Man, you will be hearing from me. I mean, like I say, you've proven everything to me. You are real, bro. You are real, man. You are so real. Bro,
much love to you too. I'm trying to tell you.
Bro, like, I'm still sitting here right now, like, this motherfucker helped me get free. I still pay. Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. That shit make a nigga want to cry, man. Because of relief, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's real, but like, man, just stay peace, bro. Don't never change, man. And, I know you're going to get greater and get wiser and learn other knowledge, but, make sure that you keep this book going and making extensions, on your quest of your knowledge, because you can't just stay on this for long, because God made you to do more than just this. You know what I'm saying? This is just a chapter in your encyclopedias, I ain't gonna even say a book. This is your encyclopedias. This is your A, B, C, D, E, F, Gs. So, but I am blessed. I'm gonna thank God once again for allowing me to run across your path, for you allowing me to take some of your time. You didn't have to do that because there's so many of us grabbing for you, you know. And man, I wish that you live a long life, bro.
Well, thanks, Doc. I really
do, man.
Same to you, Doc. Same
Yeah,
to you,
man. I mean, I wish you live, man. Hey, I'm gonna give a number that God can handle. Man, I wish you lived to at least 150.
That's cool with me. That's cool with me, man. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, I receive all that. You know.
Yeah, man. I love you, man. And hopefully, man, you know, we can meet one day. I would love to fly out and you know, and anytime you need me, brother, hey, for real, bro, anytime you need me, if some bad shit happened to you, call me.
I will do. I will do. But also, I'm glad that you mentioned, you know, doing different things because I'm trying to a certain coding line. It says yards magnified.
Yeah.
So I'm starting that, you know, and I'm gonna start posting up so people can go and cop that as well, you know, and they fit real nice, you know, nice fitting clothes and stuff like that, you know, because that's, you know, that's how I like to, you know, wear my clothes. I like to have fit and tell
athletic wear.
Nice. Yeah, like athletic wear. You know,
athletic wear.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bring that, man. I'll take a couple shirts, man, right away. If you got some, just send me the link or send me how much I need to send you, and I'll send that to you ASAP, man. And man, anytime you need me, man, anytime you need some soldiers, you need me to sweep the floor. You know what I'm saying, man? I'm sweeping the floor. I'm mopping the floor, and anybody, man, I'm gonna tell y'all, man, quit sleeping, get off YouTube, and just. Don't look, man, if they ain't got testimony, stop watching them. Stop it. Go on a diet go find a real meal.
Yeah, just tell them, man, just take their time before they jump into making a decision. Even with me, you know, do your research first because, you know, even though I provide remedy, you may not want to go the way that I decide to take you. You know, because like I said, this fight, it's a hard fight, man. It's not for everyone, you know what I mean? So, you know, you just got to be strong.
Terry, I called my, you know, in my job, we got this legal, you know, we pay for legal help, right? So I had talked to you, and then I called one of my legal help, a little lawyer you can talk to, whatever they, you know, they give you because I pay for it every month. And bro, they was like, yeah, whoever you've been getting that information from, man, they're leading you on the right path. You're okay. You know, but if there's anything that we can help you with, you can contact the firm. So this was a law firm, you know, letting me know that I was okay, that if I wanted to do like custody, let them know, but just keep doing what you're doing. And you know what? That let me know that you was a real motherfucker because they was like, well, whoever you've been talking to, why are you calling us? Nigga, you're wasting our time. I was like, yeah, man, that shit was like, man, that shit made me feel so good. But I ain't gonna hold you, man. But remember me, man, and you are in my blessings, man. May God bless you and your family. May God bless your parents, your kids, man.
Same to you, same to you. I'm glad I could be an assistance to you, to you and your family, man. You know, continue doing the right thing, taking care of yours, like how you see fit. That's all that matters, Doc. That's all that matters.
Yes, sir. I'll send you the donation. God bless you.
All right, cool. But hold on, before you leave, that's all I'm going to do for today. If you all need my help, remember my email at yahismagnified@gmail.com. Let's get this right wisdom, this right knowledge, and this right understanding. With that being said, I say shalom, my Ak.
Shalom.
All right, peace, brother.
Peace and respect. God